Welcome back to UDVT. This is episode 2, Understanding a Singer's Support Needs. Let's get to it. Now, today's discussion may be the most important in this entire series, so listen close. My name's Adam. I'm a voice professional, performer, and educator, and also the creator of UDVT. I'm all eyes and ears, even though I'm kind of sleepy today, voice teacher Adam. Yes, using your visual and auditory skills, singer Adam, I'll be sure to speak clearly and use lots of expression. Are you ready? Yes, I need you to tell me. Well, the reason this question is so important is because it ultimately frames the entire pathway to supporting our singers. How do we know what our singers need? Better yet, how do we know what our singers want? The simple answer, ask them. Singer Adam, what do you need right now? Well, voice teacher Adam, I need a nap and an iced coffee. Let me see what I can do about that. Here you go. Oh, thank you. My pleasure. Enjoy. Now, with all joking aside, sometimes it's not that simple, and we actually have to be more intentional to uncover what our singers need. This is particularly true if they aren't sure or aren't able to communicate what they want. As a general principle, follow their lead. That is, listen to their words, watch their body language, work to see the world through their eyes. This will give you a lot of information. Well, voice teacher Adam, I'm a singer who has ADHD. That's why I need my caffeine fix every day. Singer Adam, thank you for sharing that information. I too identify as having a neurodivergent way of being. That's a superpower. Let me explain. We first must understand that we live in an ableist world. Ableist meaning there are systems, structures, and even language that have historically favored able-bodied and neurotypical people. However, UDVT was created to break down those barriers in voice education, especially for singers who identify or who are identified as having some form of disability. Or as I like to say, different ability. They're superpowers, truly. This is why it's important we recognize disability, so we can form a new perspective. Let's briefly unpack 3 models to understand our singers' needs in an increasingly diversifying world. I like to call this the intersecting models of disability. Where these models meet is where our singer support needs can be understood. The first is the medical model. It's deficit needs-based, meaning a singer's internal environment has something lacking or in need of fixing. In other words, brought to normal. It's when you go to the doctor and they give you a diagnosis. You have ADHD. You check off ding, 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 ding. This model presents internal barriers to learning. It gives our singers visibility. That is, it builds a sort of scientifically researched and accepted guide rails for us to begin to understand their world. What might be happening neurologically, physically, etc. In other words, it helps build a box to categorize and conceptualize how our singers learn best. Yet, it is then a box that we open and expand and think outside of. Disclaimer, we don't need nor should we ever ask our singers for their medical information. Although it can be helpful, it's not necessary to have success in the voice studio. Having the perspective that there remains a medical model is enough. Now, the second model of disability is the social model. It's also a deficit needs-based model with the perspective that disability is a result of the external environment. It is created by social structures. This can mean social constructs, physical spaces, educational expectations, etc. They all present limitations for people with disability. This model highlights the external barriers to learning. Yet, with an awareness of these barriers, we can begin to meet our singers' needs to redesign that box and make it more accommodating. Now I've saved the best for last, the ethnographic model of disability. This is a support needs perspective, where ability is part of a singer's way of being. Here, a singer's internal and external environment is embraced. So we must first embrace our singer's lived experience. That means we need to get to know them, their preferences, their expressions, their curiosities, in order for us to meet their wants and needs. Now, contemplating these three models will allow us to gain perspective and understanding in our singer's support needs. The first 3 steps in our 5-action plan will help us do just that. First, determine the goal. Second, identify the barriers. And third, understand the assessment. Help your singer determine the goal for the day. Think about those intersecting models to identify internal and external barriers. Work with the singer to decide how they want you to assess the goal, specifically highlighting your singer's lived experience to work through the first 3 steps in that 5-action plan. Let's think outside the box.